So we're going to let these cook for a few minutes on each side. Once they turn brown, then we'll take them out and we'll put them on the rack. We'll let them cool a little bit. It's going to be time to eat. Okay, this is Vince again. Obviously you can tell I'm not in the woods, but I'm in the kitchen. And one of my goals for doing these video series was to take it from the woods or take it from the field to the table. And I don't know about you, but it's taken me a long time to figure out deer meat and how to make it more, I guess, palatable. But I've come up with a few different things I think will make it taste better to you. And today we're going to be cooking backstrap. I don't know if you guys remember this deer or not, but this is the buck that I shot. He looks a little different now, doesn't he? This is the buck I shot on Finding a Ghost. Shot him on play. That was a great hunt. So if you haven't seen that video, you can see it. It's out there. But from my experience, deer meat has a little gamey taste, especially when you're hunting public land and not around crop fields, and there's just eating natural vegetation. So today, all I'm going to do is make a simple recipe, and this thing's going to be fast. It's going to be simple, and it's going to be good. You're going to like it. One of the things I had to figure out was how to keep my bread in on my deer meat. And I'm going to fry this up, okay? And I've got a timer going right now, and I'll take out all the non-cooking aspects, and we'll get a time on this. But basically what I got, I've got olive oil, I've got sea salt, pepper, garlic, 2 eggs, and I've got flour in this bowl. And I'm mixing salt and pepper and salt in this bowl here and just stirring it up, okay? This is going to be your dry mixture right here. And what I'm going to do is once I get this the way I want it, I'm going to cut it in half and put it in this bowl, all right? So we're basically going to have 4 layers of seasoning. And I'll explain that to you in just a minute. And one thing I want you to do is when you mix this stuff up, just don't guess at it. Mix it and then taste it. And that's pretty good. I like a little bit of black pepper and garlic to mine. And that's just right. So now I'm going to put half of this in this other bowl. And hopefully I've got enough. I mean, I'm just kind of eyeballing this. Got my deer meat over here. Make sure your deer meat's dry. Water and grease don't mix. As you know, it'll splatter all over the place and then it blows your breading off the deer meat. So make sure that stuff's dry. I patted it down with a paper towel, try to get all the moisture off of it. Plus, when you got water on there, it doesn't allow your seasoning mixture. Now, like I said, on the seasoning, I just use salt, pepper, and garlic. But you can use any commercial seasoning you like. You can change the flavor of this to whatever you want, but just make sure you taste it first, and it's the way you want it before you throw it in the pan, because once you throw it in the pan, it's too late, okay? So I'm gonna crack a couple of eggs here, and we're gonna get rolling. I think it only takes about 2 eggs to do this. Hopefully it's gonna only take about 2 eggs. Same thing here. I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper, garlic. We'll put some salt in there. Then just stir all this up. You don't want any bland taste. You don't want any layers to be unseasoned, okay? So that's good. Let's stir it up. And then basically what I'll do is we'll take the salt and we'll salt the meat. Just a little bit, just lightly. So we're gonna season the meat before we put it in. And we'll just flip all this over real quick. Put some more salt on that. And I'm not putting a lot. And do the garlic. Same way. I forgot to do that other side, but I'll just let that go. I'll have to remember the next time. Okay, so now, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, put it in your dry mixture, okay? Make sure it's coated all the way around. Lay that in there. So you got an egg, So now just take it out, get any of the excess off, and then we're going to put it in there. So I'm just going to keep loading these things up. I like to put 2 or 3 in there. Seems like from an assembly standpoint, it takes a little bit less time. Knock the excess off, put it in there. And we'll go ahead and turn my pan on. And just keep breading these up. Okay, so what we'll do is I'm going to flip these over and then put the garlic and the pepper on the other side because I forgot to do it. So I get all these flipped. You got everything on there. So all right, now we're going to be back to what we were doing. So just make sure it's coated. Put it on your pan. Now put it on your plate. If your pan's hot and ready to go, you could put them straight in there, but I recommend letting it sit for just a little bit to help everything stick together. Now also on this second bowl, I just split the two, but if you like cracker crumbs, you can change this up. This is just my recipe for doing this, but you can do it any way you want. So those are coating up pretty good. I don't think you guys are gonna watch me do the rest of these. Okay, as you go through this process, you're gonna find out your hands are gonna get caked pretty good, so you'll have to have some paper towels, wipe your hands off. And what I did was, once I finished this dry mixture, I used what was left of it to be able to bread the rest of my backstrap pieces. All right, I didn't taste the egg. Now I tasted this bowl, the divide in half, and obviously just salt and pepper, and garlic, both sides of the meat here. Don't recommend you tasting raw eggs. I eat raw eggs all the time, but I don't recommend you doing that. My plate here is full, so I'm gonna bread these up from the egg mixture, and then we're gonna go over here to the stove and we're gonna start cooking these. You'll know the pan's hot when you put a little bit of flour and it starts to, sizzle. Just like on a grill, you want to get that seared taste in, so you get your grill really hot. So I've had my pan preheating, and I've got about a ½ inch of the olive oil in there. And then all I'm going to do is start dropping these in. Now, like I said, I've got quite a few here. Just going to lay them in there. Hopefully I've got enough room. This was a pretty big batch of backstrap. Now what I do, everybody's different. When I'm butchering my deer, and I butcher my own deer now. I used to take them and have them done, but I do it myself. I just found that I can cut my deer up and butcher it. I know exactly what it is, and I can label everything. And it may not be as good as the professional butcher, but I know what I've got, and I'm gonna try not to crowd these things too bad. So I got a few more I got to put in there. So we're gonna let these cook, depending on your taste and how well you want yours done. I usually have mine light red, light pink in the middle. I don't want it cooked all the way through. And if you notice, I don't have a paper towel here. I'm gonna set them on a rack. What I found is when I put them on a paper towel, one side's nice and crunchy, then sometimes the breading sticks to the paper towel and it comes off or it makes it soggy. So I'm gonna lay these off on this rack and just let them drip down on this paper towel. So hopefully in a few minutes, we're gonna have something that's pretty satisfying. Okay, so after a few minutes, as you can tell, I've got most of these flipped. I've got one on the left there that needs to be turned, but now they're getting a nice dark golden brown color. So I'll let them cook just a few more minutes and we'll take them off. Actually, I have one out. I'm about ready to do a taste test on it, but everything's looking good so far. Okay, as you can see, I pretty much got all these out. Put them on this rack to dry or to cool. And that way both sides will be crunchy. You can tell the breading stayed on there. Look, you can see how even the breading is. And like I said, there's other methods you can use it. But we've got 4 layers of seasoning. It's on the meat, it's on the dry flour mixture, it was in the egg mixture, then the flour mixture afterwards. So we're going to continue to cook these. Cook this one until it's done. So now, the moment of truth. That is good. So I hope this video was informative for you on how to cook deer meat. You know, relatively fast. I got my timer here, and we're about 30 minutes, but that's me talking and moving around, doing certain things. So in less than 30 minutes, you can have you a really good meal. You can take the grease here and make you a gravy if you want, make you some biscuits, eggs, whatever to go along with this. But by using those 4 layers on this meat, and then I'll talk maybe in another video about the soaks, the pre-soaks, or the marinades you can use, and even aging the deer, you can make your deer taste a lot better. So from the field to the table, we'll see you next time.